Good morning. I've got some huge news, massive news, really big news. The Larch Lap has been painted. I love how many of you people enjoy commenting on the Larch Lap. Anyway, while we were away in Eastern Europe, it's been painted. That's not the news. Talking of travelling across Eastern Europe, an electric car has smashed the world record for the longest distance travelled on a single charge. Fantastic, reports GB News. And I saw the article and I thought, crikey, maybe that's it. Maybe it's all over for my dirty diesel, because we just drove 2,300 miles on 3.5 tanks of diesel. I thought maybe they've managed to do it. So let's take a look, shall we? Bearing in mind that my 30-year-old Volvo, 30 years older technology, can do 700-800 miles on a tank. I was thinking, oh no, they've managed to do it. They've cracked it. Let's have a look. A popular electric vehicle, not sure about that one, has set a new Guinness World Record for the longest journey travelled by an electric SUV on a single charge. Hang on a minute. Is this the electric SUV record? We have a record for an electrical version of a car we never needed. The Polestar 3 long range single motor travelled a staggering, wait for it, drum roll please, 581 miles on a single charge. That's like a really bad tank of diesel in my Volvo. This is well beyond the tested WLTP battery range of 348 miles and represents a significant breakthrough for the capabilities of electric vehicles. Everybody stop in the comments, all right? You pro EV people, calm down. And all of you people that are with me and love an internal combustion engine, let's just take a minute. Okay, if the technology actually gets there, in that they can give us electric cars that can do realistic, real world 500-600 miles range, then I'm gonna be happy, because that means that we've actually got a viable replacement for the cars that we know and love. However, before I get back onto the article, there's a catch, and it's a very big one, right? It's all the obvious stuff that I've been talking about, well, forever. It's the mining, it's the cobalt, it's the shipping them across, it's the fires, it's the cargo ships going down to the bottom of the sea, still on fire. It's the cost of them. It's the fact that we don't yet know the true health implications of sitting on a gigantic battery all day long. And it's the fact that every single one has a stupid big screen, is connected to sort of central wherever, and you will be tracked everywhere that you go. That's my issue with the electric cars. It's not necessarily the fact that they're electric. It's all the gumph that goes with them because they're electric. Like I say, what I like about these old cars, this one is the four-wheel drive petrol, which can't do that range, to be fair. It wouldn't be too far off. It'd be interesting to try it, but there's no Mapmaster challenges scheduled for the minute. What I like about these is I can go to a petrol station, and if I cover my face, maybe wear a burqa, then I can fill it with cash, and if I don't take my phone with me, nobody knows where I am or where I'm going, and I quite like that idea. All of you people that are accusing me of whatever can jump on that burqa comment as much as you like, because it's correct. Right, professional drivers Sam Clark, Kevin Booker and Richard Parker helped the SUV achieve an impressive 19.5 kilowatt hour per 100 miles. That's actually very good, because that is 4 or 5 times what most EVs are getting. That's almost a pro EV video from Geoff Buys Cars. It's not. You know, I've seen the guys when they're towing, they get like 2 kilowatts an hour. Lee, when he drives his Taycan, is 2.83 kilowatts an hour. So 19.5 is pretty good. The car was not modified in any way prior to the attempt. Did they fit a rear windscreen? Is this the Polestar without a rear windscreen? It was on standard 20-inch wheels and standard Michelin Sport 4 tyres designed for electric vehicles. The attempt took 22 hours and 57 minutes. What? Hang on a minute. How? 22 hours to drive 500 miles? Am I missing something? Let me get my head around this, right? That's basically, because as you know, if you watch the channel, I work everything out on driving distances based on Birmingham to Newquay or Falmouth, because I went to university in Falmouth, I lived in Birmingham. That's the drive I used to do the most. And you can do that. That's 230-ish miles, right? That takes about on a good run, 4.5 hours. In the old days, it used to be less. I once did Birmingham to Newquay in an Audi TT in something like 2 hours and 45 minutes, but we won't talk about that. It was on New Year's Eve and I was on my way to a party and it wasn't my car. But how the heck did they spend 22 hours and 57 minutes? It took them 23 hours to cover 581 miles. I could do Birmingham to Newquay in 4 hours. And then, well, not in the summer, but then you could turn around and go back, and that would be about 450 miles. And then you could get halfway down to Bristol, and I reckon I could do that whole thing in 12 hours. So like half the time that I don't understand how it's taken them so long to do it. The Polestar 3 managed to retain a staggering 20% of its battery when the drivers reached 20% of battery capacity. What? It managed to retain 20% of its battery when the drivers reached 20% of its battery capacity. I'm not sure on that one. Even when someone explained that to me in the comments, maybe have I missed something there? Is that me misunderstanding something? Even when the SUV reached 0%, the car still delivered an additional 8 miles. Although the AA was present to support drivers if they could not reach a charger before running out of battery, they literally had an AA van following them. So surely you should count the fuel consumption on the diesel Transit that was behind them. The Polestar managed to reach a public charger before coming to a stop. What they should have done then is charged it up fully on that public charger, and then we would know how much it cost them to do the 581 miles, and then we'd have a really valid comparison, wouldn't we? Because, as I said, on a public charger, if you're on the wrong one and you don't have the right tariff and you're not charging at home, you're probably spending £80 to do a charge like that, which in the Volvo is more miles, so we've achieved nothing. Matt Galvin, Polestar's UK Managing Director. Matt, get in touch. Can you lend me one? Genuinely, I'd like to borrow any one of your Polestars and let me debunk myself. That would be great, wouldn't it? Let me give me any of your Polestars and I'll take it on an epic road trip and we'll just see if Geoff Buys Cars can actually debunk Geoff Buys Cars. Matt said he highlighted how impressive the feat was for an electric SUV to travel the distance from London to Edinburgh and beyond in a single charge. He noted the drivers Kevin, Sam and Richard managed to push the Polestar 3 beyond its advertised capabilities. What did they actually do? I mean, it's one button. That pedal's basically a button. I'm not quite sure what skill was involved there. He stated the Guinness World Record success was clear evidence that the battery range of electric vehicles had come on leaps and bounds in recent years. Happy to admit that. We're waiting for the electric battery technology to catch up with all the promises that we've been made about electric battery technology. He added, when the achievement is coupled together with the real-world independent tests such as Norway's El Pri winter range test earlier in the year, where the Polestar 3 long-range dual motor won against 23 other electric vehicles, it goes to show long distances are perfectly achievable with minimal fuss. Add to this rapid charging with up to 250 kilowatts, allowing 10 to 80% in 30 minutes. The adage that EVs can't go far has been very much consigned to the history books. No one ever said EVs can't go far. We just said it was a pain in the arse. It's not the same thing and more expensive. One of the drivers, Sam Clark, said the Guinness World Record attempt pushed the three motorists to their limits. How? How were you pushed to your limits, spending 23 hours driving 581 miles? I'm not sure on that one. Now I'm curious to find out how many miles I can do without an actual stop, not even a wee. Because you can do 500 miles in an afternoon. Well, to ask me how I know. Well, you'll see how I know, because on Sunday night at 8 p.m, my 2,300 mile road trip's going to drop on YouTube. It's an hour-long Top Gear special. Well, the weather's picked up, but I tell you what, we've managed to cover about 80 miles, and it was rubbish. The traffic was horrendous. And there we are, 400 miles later in Slovenia. 8 p.m. Sunday night on the channel. Kevin Booker, who holds multiple driving world records, added that the attempt could have been ruined by weather conditions or traffic, but said it was a fantastic feeling once they continued driving after reaching 0%. My wife's car does that as well when the range goes down to 0 and she carries on, so she knows exactly how that feels. After the rain subsided, we had a few more challenges on our hands, including some interest from the local constabulary, Richard Parker said. He said, so they got pulled over by the police. When they realised our official attempt was ultra efficiency, they wished us good luck, and we were back on track and getting into our routine of driving shifts until a last-minute road closure near Melton Mowbray was an additional test for us to face. The luxury Polestar 3 starts at, drum roll, £69,910. That is a shit ton of diesel, and has a 0 to 60 time of 4.7 seconds. For a limited time, drivers could save £2,000 off the vehicle list price. Polestar describes the model as being an SUV, but driving like a sports car, with the EV helping the Swedish brand sell 30,000 cars in the first year of 2025. In the first year of 2025. How many years have we had in 2025? I mean, I know we've had a timeline shift and things have probably gone strange, but I think they mean months. GB News, superb reporting. Compared to the same period in 2024, Polestar has seen an impressive 51% growth in new registrations, with CEO Michael Loschleller describing it as another strong quarter of growth. So they got pulled over, they did 581 miles, and it took them 23 hours. Cool. All right. Like I said, my big video is going to drop Sunday night at 8 p.m. I'm still finishing editing it. But just for you, just for today, because of this video, here's a clip of when we got pulled over by the police whilst doing our long distance challenge. Let me know what you think of all of that in the comments. I want to know more about why it took them 22 hours and 57 minutes. And if you want to see me do some long distance driving challenges, just to see how far we can go, then let me know. Although, like I said, we have kind of just done that. £69,000 for that car. The Volvo that we just drove to Bulgaria, well, I initially paid £250. Realistically, I've probably spent 5,000 quid on that car with all the stuff I've done to it. So a whole car restored and like everything, all good to go in the engine bay, new tyres, refurbished alloy wheels, all new brakes, everything for 5,000 quid. And then 300 quid's worth of diesel to do 2,300 miles with 800 miles to the tank. But 30 years later, we're almost doing it. Thanks for watching. Here's the clip of us after we got pulled over by the police. Oh, we just got stopped by the police. Well, I came round a roundabout at like 12 mile an hour, and then he waved us in. And he said, "Do you have a driving licence?" So I gave him a driving licence, and he looked at it, and then he went, "Everything's okay." So that is our experience so far of driving 1,654 miles with no front number plate. Well, it did cause a problem at Serbian border where they said, "Where's your number plate?" And we said, "It fell off, it's here." And they said, "Okay."
I ripped it off.
Now we're telling the truth. You did rip it off. Why did you rip the number plate off? Because I was going to go knock some road close signs down. Yeah. The Bean looks out for his dad.
He does actually. Bless him.
Did do a bit of Autobahn, 120 if you were wondering. We are crossing into Serbia.
Croatia.
Are we? Oh, wrong country. We are crossing into Croatia.